Welcome back for another week on the couch, Dan and Dane. And this week we're going to talk about what steps or what should you have in place before you transition out of defence when we talk about housing. Before we jump into this, mate.
Just about housing though, right? We're going to limit this to
Before we jump into that though, I've got this bad, well, we got this bad.
Oh, listen to it. He's taking
and we found a spot for it there.
Yeah.
Best medium business in Australia, mate. So hopefully that makes
medium property business. Like, let's nail that down.
We might know something, I think.
Yeah, just hopefully. 1 or 2.
But anyway, go into it, mate. What do you reckon?
Mate, I think for me, if I was to sit there and go, like, what do I need to get out of defence when I get out? I don't think that me sitting there going, I need to go and grab all my entitlements straight off the bat. So I know I've got them in my back pocket in my first posting.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it goes back to, well, what are you trying to achieve, right? Because you got to weigh up the pros and cons. On one side, you've got your RA, right? Yep. It's sitting there and it's paying you, or your RA and your married quarter, and you might be averaging yourself out there paying like $300 a week.
Yeah.
But then you've got to say, yeah, but I'll get my H-Pass when I'm still in there. And your H-Pass, you're going to get about 11, 12 grand after tax from that bad boy. And you go, well, at what point in time is the crossover? When is it reasonable for me to do so? So I suppose my big thing is like, can you get your H-Pass? I think like that's the big one for me because you can't get your H-Pass after you're out. You got to have 12 months left in your same location that you're serving in for you to be able to get your H-Pass at the time of contract signing. And what you do after you sign that contract, I can't stop you, nor can you chain of command. But once you got that money in your skyrocket, it's pretty hard to get it back. Yeah. But if you try to be as transparent as you possibly can and try to follow the rules, then you would get your H-Pass in your back pocket. So for me, that's the biggest one that you could have a red hot crack at getting. Yeah. Because DOHAS you can use later. As at the new rule changes, anyone who served 1 day after 1 July 2008, your DOHAS now doesn't have a lifespan limit. You don't have the 2 years. You don't have the 5 years now. You can get it whenever you want after you get out of the military, but you get one certificate, so use it wisely.
Yeah, 100%. My thing with this is a lot of this is in that.
There is.
But when you are looking at transitioning out, like sort of Dan said, it really is HPAS that drives the decision if you're going to run off and try and purchase a property. But I would bet that what you would save being an RA would actually surpass what you would get given with HPAS. So HPAS is one of those things where it'd be nice if it actually increased. Like you can see around, and we did do it on the couch the other week, where we spoke about the state governments, but HPAS realistically, it'd be nice if it was $25,000 tax-free, right? Yeah. That might make you jump. And when you are whittling it down, you're getting 11 grand, you're living in fucking Darlinghurst or something like that.
Oh, living on the harbour in Sydney, and all of a sudden you're like, well, I can pay.
I want to get that 11 grand. Or I'm saving $1,000 pretty much.
Every week.
Every week with where I'm renting. So those little bits really, the numbers should drive the decision. Yeah. And the big thing is once you are out, and you don't have access to RA, right? It would be nice having something helping you slug away at that mortgage. So one of those big things with DOHAS, and I think they were very good changes when they went from 2 years to 5 years now. As long as you served since 2008, you can access it at any time, okay? It is very valuable at that point in time, I think. Because once you're out of there, you don't have the RA. So RA really, for me, is one of those gravy trains that doesn't get enough credit, but if you design that well with your investment portfolio, you're going to leave in a very, very good position.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not saying you can't use your HPAS, you can't use your first homeowner's green. We're not saying you can't use all of those. They're really important as part of your portfolio plan while you're still in the Defence Force. It certainly might come into play. But what we're saying is when it comes to discharge, you sitting there going, hey, man, I'm going to stick around for another 2 years just so I can get my HPAS. You know what? Probably doesn't factor into my decision-making at all.
Yeah.
Yes, it's some good free cash, obviously, and everyone should get it if you can.
Yeah.
But only if it meets your whole of life plan.
Yeah, and like location too. Like if you're sitting up there in Tyndall, you go, fuck, I really want this 11 grand. And suddenly you buy a house up there.
In Catherine.
Yeah, well, mate, you probably just go and put it down the toilet and flush it away. So those factors still play a role. Like, how am I going to use this, this money to actually grow my investment portfolio and so on and so forth? So you still need your strategy really driving those decisions.
Absolutely.
Anyway, that's it for this week. I know I jawed off about our award we got the other day. Bit of a hangover the next day, weren't we, Dan, with that one?
It wasn't too bad. I drank plenty of water at the event, obviously.
Not me. All right, so see you guys next week. Another episode on the couch will be coming your way.